Welcome here to the mountaintop of Mount Manitoba. And here we are, we're going to talk about the Not in Hall of Fame show, the Hall of Fame Spectacular, Season 3, Episode 35. Evan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. It's an interesting day on Twitter today.
It is. And I think we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. But, well, it's the Hall of Fame show. So I've got something that I want to bring up to you that you may or may not be aware of with that. So I told you that I wanted to really bring up something on the site in terms of the monitor that we're doing, which the Hall of Fame monitor, it's a Hall of, like I kind of ripped it off from other things, but it's the Hall of Fame monitor for the Football Hall of Fame. So I knew this was going to come up. So did you take a look at what's sort of there?
I didn't get a chance to, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I did not have the chance.
No, fair enough. And so, like, anyone who hates what I did, I did it. So
yeah, I literally have nothing to do with it. Leave me
alone.
Leave my Twitter handle at Secondhand Burrito out of this one.
Right. So this is something that I kind of do, and I kind of like it, right? Because we're looking at active players and where they fall in the Hall of Fame stance. So I wanted to open up with this. So usually I might do my Schmorgasbord of shit. I'm gonna pass on it. I could have gone with how everyone, and I still might, looked at Serena's retirement. Good, bad, really. I could do a good, bad, and ugly, sort of borrowing from your thing, on how left wing, right wing, and other wings looked at this. And it was good, bad, and ugly. I don't want to. I really don't want to do that.
Understood.
Yeah. So, but I do want to look at what I've got here for the active players. So can we look a bit at that?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want the top 10 or just the top 15?
Let's do the top 20.
Top
exciting.
20. Okay. All right. So
where can we find this again?
NotInHallOfFame.com.
Okay, just want to make sure that people remember what we do here. Continue.
Absolutely. So one of the things I sort of try to do is borrow from Jay Jaffe's Jaws, which was sort of like looking at that set average. So I looked at what do you call it? The things that Pro Football Reference does a really good job of in coming up with the approximate value.
Yeah. So
I looked at every position and the approximate value based on the last 5 Hall of Famers from their position, which makes sense completely except for quarterback, because that's gone way off the deep end.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll do the top 20. So number 1 is Tom Brady, obviously.
Understandable.
Yeah. And number 2 is Aaron Rodgers. You're a good friend.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team, so we're good friends this year.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a 2 quarterback league. So he was, I can't remember, it's my 3rd or my 4th round pick. So okay. I got Cooper Kupp, which is going pretty well so far for me. And then Justin Hebert in the 2nd round. Or Justin Herbert.
Well, in Canada, it's Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Because we're very French. Thank you. So, but I mean, whatever you think about Aaron Rodgers, and I kind of took a mini dump on him last week. Kind of, sort of. But they're both, first of all, Hall of Famers.
No, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all timers, not just first ballot Hall of Famers. They're all timers, both of them.
Right. So then from there, we have our first defensive player, Aaron Donald, at number 3.
Yeah, kind of hard to argue that one.
Right. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated because if you're not retired, you're still active. And football is sort of interesting to me because as you know, when we look at hockey, basketball, baseball, when someone's retired, they're retired. We kind of know pretty early. We don't know that in football. So number 4 is Adrian Peterson.
Right. It has to be. Just like if you did this last year, number 4 might be Frank Gore, even though because we weren't sure.
Frank Gore was not in the top 10.
All right, fine.
Ever,
whatever. But Frank Gore's going to be a Hall of Famer, so.
Sure. But he wasn't going to make this list. So Adrian Peterson is the highest running back at number 4, even though, as we talked about last week, the highest rushing yard guy is, God damn it, I can't believe it.
Used to be for the Saints. His name's out of my head.
Oh, he's still with the Saints.
Oh, is he still with the Saints? Oh, Mark Ingram.
Yeah. So much out of my head that I was stalling, hoping you were going to help me.
It took me a second.
Yeah. Well, it took me more seconds to sort of like hope, like, bail me out, Evan, bail me out.
I did the best I could. There we go.
Yeah. But he's not retired, so he's still here. Number 5, J.J. Watt. Number 6, Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, who had to he texted the Rams that he wanted to join them. They didn't believe it was him.
Yeah, I saw that today. That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Von Miller is now not the number 1 linebacker, but he was Buffalo Bill. Don't tell me what's going on. I'm gonna watch.
Did you see his haircut?
Say nothing about what's going on.
Just his haircut.
No,
he has like everything shaved. He has like a triangle on the back of his head and middle of the back of his head. Everything around it shaved. It's very, very strange. Just check for his haircut. That's not giving you anything away about the game.
All right, then.
Just check for his haircut.
I don't know. Last time I worried about like a pro football player's haircut was Antonio Brown. That didn't work out too good.
Understood.
Speaking of which, he's number 8. Same thing. Not retired.
He's not retired. Although he said he was when he ran off the field against the Jets, but you know.
Not officially retired.
Not officially retired. Fair enough.
Number 9, Julio Jones.
Definitely not officially retired.
Julio Jones is still playing.
No, I know. I'm just saying, definitely not. After the last.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So number 10, we got Russell Wilson. So we have 3 quarterbacks in the top 10 for the first time. Well, no, that's not true. Because Ben Roethlisberger was in the top 10 last year.
Okay.
Yeah. So Zach Martin, our highest rated offensive lineman.
What's his name? Just came back with the Cowboys, right? I can think of his name. The offensive lineman played with the Bears last year with the Eagles.
Jason Peters?
Jason Peters, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, God damn it, I got to fix that because it's I've got him at a free agent here, but at number 14.
Is that 14? Okay. I was going to say Jason Peters has to be on that list as well. So continue.
Yep. Number 12, Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Yep. Number 13.
I have to say, Travis Kelce is very good. He is not better than Rob Gronkowski, and I'm going to take that to my grave.
I don't think that's really an issue.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs fans are convinced that Kelce, who can't block anybody, is better than Gronk because he can catch when he's wide open and run down the field, which Gronk also could do. But continue.
I can't believe that's even a debate.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Gronk's technically retired, but maybe not. We'll see. So if he comes back, where does he come in?
3.
Well, you put him ahead of Aaron Donald? I'd put him Donald first.
No, 4. 4.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, continue. Aaron Donald is just on another freaking planet.
I can't believe that there's anyone that actually would put Kelce over. And I love Kelce.
Sorry, you broke up. I didn't hear anything you just said.
No, I was just going to say, I can't believe there's anyone who would say that they would put Kelce over Gronk.
Oh, Chiefs fans. I mean, I don't know who's worse. Chiefs fans talk about their dynasty or Bills fans talking about their dynasty this year. So.
Oh, the dynasty that hasn't happened yet? Okay.
Hey, that someone said on Twitter today, Queen Elizabeth saw 5 popes, 14 presidents, 59 Browns quarterbacks, and 0 Bills Super Bowl victories. So,
oh, how many Maple Leaf Stanley Cups? A few.
Oh, she was quite a few. She's been around since 26, so she's seen basically all of them.
Wow. Yeah, well, we'll talk about her later.
Yes, we'll get to her.
So this is where we get to the thing I asked you about last week, the quarterbacks. So I got Matt Ryan at number 13.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And a lot of that too, though, Evan, goes back to that average that I sort of like put together in terms of what I call the modern positional average. My Jay Jaffe, which works everywhere but quarterback.
Yeah.
And I recognize that, and I don't quite know what to do with that. This is kind of where I wish I had Vinny Loss-Benuso here for like a 2-minute bit, because like Vinny's massive on Matt Ryan, and this is why I love Vinny, because he is a giant football fan and does not give a shit about any team.
That's true.
Yeah, but he's bigger on Matt Ryan. He will be bigger on Matt Ryan than any Falcons fan we can ever come up with.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we've got that. Patrick Peterson at number 15, cornerback. Tyron Smith, who he's got some issues right now.
He does.
Yep. Cam Newton at 17.
Okay, I was wondering where Cam Newton was once you brought up Ryan. I don't want to skip the list.
Well, yeah, because I already knew you knew where I was going from last week, but
yeah, right.
Yeah, and I will say last week what I said this week. Well, I'm going to say this week. If you think Cam is not a Hall of Famer, yeah, I get that. Look at his rushing numbers.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. He's going to be one of those people who I kind of feel like he needs Randall Cunningham in to help him.
Oh, that's so true. Which won't happen because nobody gives a crap about Randall Cunningham, which is
silly
to me and to you. And
I mean, if Randall Cunningham doesn't blow out his knee, and I think that was 91, the first game of 91.
Yeah.
That 91 Eagles team, that defense was ridiculous, right? And then, I mean, Jerome Brown and Reggie White and like that, just that whole team was insane. And if he doesn't get hurt that first week, I think they win the Super Bowl in 91.
Yeah.
And then everything is entirely different.
So strange. And again, 3-time Burt Bell winner. Which is
Burt Bell MVP.
Yeah. 3 times.
Yep.
And no.
Which if Joe Klecko is a defensive MVP, then that got to count for. It's got to count for, because that was what they said and all the things. He was defensive MVP. He was never officially defensive player of the year in the NFL. He was for, I can't remember what the other one was, the ultimate. But he was never officially defensive player of the year in the NFL. So if that's true, then we have 3-time MVP Randall Cunningham.
I can't think of any football player more disrespected in terms of accolades. I really can't.
Yeah, I mean, he and Bo Jackson, when we were kids, were just the most transcendent, ridiculous athletes. And both of them got injured, and it's like they never happened.
Yeah, but Randall did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it, but okay, that's for another time. Finishing up the top 20, Richard Sherman technically shouldn't be here because he's got another job, but he says, I'm not retired. So, all right. Khalil Mack at 19.
There's actually all sorts of rumors on heavy.com today that the Patriots are going to sign him for some reason. I don't see why, but.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, heavy.com just throws crap out there all the time. So who knows?
Wait, a website that lies?
It doesn't lie. It just completely makes, it's not even it's like proposed trade sends Kyrie Irving to the Celtics. You're like, that's not happening.
Shit, no wonder we're not bigger, huh?
Yeah, I know. We just need to make crap up.
Exactly. Number 20 is Trent Williams.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our top 20. And
interesting.
Any player that you're thinking of that you want to sort of like go, because I don't know that you've sort of looked at this list. Again, if you have a problem with it, send it to me. And I know some of you don't have a problem with that.
Here's a question for you for young guys. So let's just take Patrick Mahomes for a second, right?
Number 20.
So he's 21.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was just wondering how the shortness of career leads into it. Because if Mahomes retires now, is he a Hall of Famer? Probably, with the way they're dealing with things, although that's kind of crazy.
Yep. Terrell Davis rule, which is what we sort of like I look at.
Right.
Terrell Davis had a very short and potent career.
But ridiculous. He was 2-time MVP, Super Bowl MVP, led his team to 2 championships in like 5 years.
Yeah, and to me, it was like a far easier consideration than Tony Baselli. No disrespect to Tony, but
yeah, I know. Well, I mean, and I guess you can almost make the same argument for Kenny Easley, where on the defensive side of things,
which they did.
Yeah.
So that's all there. So I tried to sort of like use that Jay Jaffe thing to bring up an average, and with quarterbacks, it doesn't make any sense. And every other position, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Understood.
So I'm really proud of that. I'm going to be looking to do that, to update that with the basketball list and create the hockey one before.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So that's something that sort of takes place over my smorgasbord of shit. Or does it?
Oh, I don't know.
Or does it? Because we talked last week about the greatest, or one of them, tennis wives ever, in SerenaWilliams.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so media, right-wing media, fuck you. Because sometimes I shit, and I'm going to tell you, I shit on all media.
You do, 100%.
Yeah. So there was a few things that says like, oh my God, it's so awful. They like, look at that. In the US Open, like they stalled everything just for her. Yeah. Did you have a problem when they did that for Emmitt Smith when he broke the record? No, then fuck you. God damn it. I mean, I can't think of any time where we have a GOAT tennis player who actually got to call her shot.
Yeah, 100%.
And you've got a problem that they did some kind of thing on the US Open. Go fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. I can't stress that enough. Fuck you. Yeah, it's not part of tradition. Again, did you have a problem in the football when that happened with Emmett? No, you didn't? Fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because that really bothered me. Like, why do you care? Like, because SerenaWilliams is such a Democrat? Because she said, wait a minute, nothing? She's not. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. You don't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
SerenaWilliams is not political. SerenaWilliams is strong, confident, and awesome. And yes, I said a couple of weeks ago that she did not treat some people that I got to become acquainted with very well. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen to me, but Serena and Serena. You know, I was like, God damn it. Is this where we are? That we have to like go, okay, you're a right winger. Fine. I get that. What is it that she did that would make you think that she's necessarily against your side? Nothing.
Right.
Like, am I missing something, Evan?
No.
God fucking damn it. Can't we just celebrate her career as like one of the greatest American athletes ever? And just like, thank you. You're awesome. Thank you for playing to 41 when nobody else can do that in tennis. Man, female, whatever. Thank you. God damn it. Fuck off. Sorry. Yeah. Was I a little too passionate on this?
No, it's good. I like it.
Thank you. No, that really bothered me. Really bothered me. Like why?
Yeah.
She's not that person. She's not that person. And even going towards like some one article I read on sort of left wing when it came, well, Serena did this. Well, she wasn't as outspoken as Naomi Osaka. She didn't have to fucking be.
True.
Her existence was more than Naomi ever had to worry about. And you know what I think about Naomi? You know how much I love her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Serena and Venus went through way more shit than Naomi will ever have to worry about.
100%.
Yeah, so she didn't sort of like speak about rights. She didn't have to. She was living it. She lived it. Fuck off.
All right. There we go.
Sorry. By the way, who died?
Oh, yeah. So we're getting to that. So I would like to congratulate Prince Charles on becoming King Charles. He was only backing up for 70 years. He came just short of the record set by Chase Daniel for most years as a backup.
Wow. I did not see this as the opener. You are so awesome, man.
I stole that from the internet. I can't remember from who.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. No, but I'd actually have to say Brian Hoyer's been a backup for a long time as well at this point. Anyway, yeah, Queen Elizabeth II died. You may have heard of her.
I may have, yeah.
So her son is going to be King Charles III, in case you're wondering. We'll see for how long.
Yeah.
But she passed away at the age of 96 today. And Twitter was interesting all about this. So.
All right, can I go into that?
Sure. Here's a question for you. Here's something that actually happened today. So there are people who were taking their Canadian swearing in today on Zoom, and they were supposed to swear loyalty to the Queen.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And everything went up, which is again a weird thing about your country. But they had like a long pause and was talking about like they went off hiatus and haven't come back because I don't know if they knew what to do. How can you swear loyalty to someone who's not around?
That's a very good. I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so continue about the Queen.
I want to go back to what I didn't even know that. Okay, so like this is what like to become like an MP.
To become a Canadian citizen, you apparently have to swear loyalty to the Queen of England.
I should have asked my wife that. We did become a Canadian citizen.
Yeah.
My red hot Asian wife from Indonesia. I'm a little bit biased, but yes. By the way, when you finally meet her, like I know that you're gonna like her more than me because everyone who meets her loves her more than me.
Well, that's marrying out of that's out kicking your coverage, we call that.
Well, also too, I mean, like she also says how young you look. So
I already like her.
Yeah, I know you did. Okay. So again, despite what Evan and I work on with, let's promote that now. The United States Athletical Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
www.nothalloffame.com/USA, where you can vote for the first ever United States Athletic Hall of Fame class. And it's pretty sweet because it's all up to you. All of it's up to you. Yet, I'm a Canadian who is passionate about American sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess with the whole Queen thing, right? So like for me, and I was thinking about this today. Do you remember when I think it was Sharon Osbourne got fired from whatever the fuck she did or something?
Yeah.
All right. So she defended Piers Morgan, who was anti-Meghan Markle, blah, 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 blah. And I think I might have said, like, I don't give a fuck about a show someone fired from a show I don't watch about a monarchy I don't give a fuck about.
Understood.
Yeah. Just because I don't give a fuck about the monarchy doesn't mean I'm like taking some great thrill that she's dead. This is not how I want to be. I thought about you again, like when I'm not going to mention his name, but somebody passed away, and you do the passaways, those we lost, and you did not like this individual, and you took the high road. You mentioned nothing, and it was awesome, and it cemented why the fact that you're my friend, even though we've never met, but it made me just love you even more.
Yeah, I mean, there's no need to. There's plenty of time for throwing dirt in a grave later, but after they pass, there's got to be a little
right. So
time period.
With the Queen, like, I think that's disgusting that we still have a monarchy. Whatever, that's not my decision. Over Twitter, I still cannot believe when we learned this happened. Like, we're recording this at night, and 7 hours ago, and today, like right now, the last 7 hours, some things are trending that, like, really, okay, really,
yeah,
we're celebrating her death over what? Over fucking what?
Yeah. So I don't want to get into it because some of it is crazy, but I mean, my opinion of the monarchy is it's just sort of like a reality show that keeps a whole bunch of newspapers and business in the UK.
I like that. Yeah.
I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah. It's and we would totally have one of those if we could over here in the US. We've tried with the Kennedys and others. But yeah, I mean,
Ivanka?
What?
Ivanka?
Yeah.
Sorry. No, let's move on.
Yeah,
sorry.
well, I know, but I mean, and the Trumps to a certain extent on the right wing media, particularly.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, she was around for a long time. More than anything, it's a weird day because she's been an adult all of our lives, right? I mean, you just turned 50. She was 46 when you were born. So
okay.
she's been an adult our whole lives. She's always been there, and it's weird that she's not anymore.
I consider her an old woman my whole entire life.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are people who've just been adults your whole life. That you're just like, oh, it's just weird when they're gone. You know what I mean? It's just such a part of the world community that it's weird that Elizabeth II is no longer among us. But yeah, so we're gonna, I guess, have a new coronation and all sorts of stuff, and Charles will get to be in charge of our days and our nights.
Why have I not seen that on Twitter?
Yeah, well, that's gonna happen soon enough. But
does that mean crap? I don't. God damn it! I can't remember the name of the person who was
Scott Baio.
Yeah, no, I know Scott Baio. Scott Baio was one of my heroes in a weird way. Who was the oldest daughter in that show?
The actress. I don't remember. I never really watched that show.
Yeah, who eventually said that Scott Baio tried to have sex with her, or did?
I don't know. It was TV in the 80s. Everybody was trying to have sex with everybody. I mean, there's rumors about Florence Henderson and Greg, so who knows? Or the Brady Bunch.
She's still awesome.
She was. But anyway, Queen Elizabeth, let's move on because we could be here a while.
Right.
Queen Elizabeth passed away at the age of 96 years old. Some lesser known names.
Before we go further, can we give a shout out to Ted?
Sure.
Webmaster?
Sure.
You saw the new opening that we had last week.
Yes, I did.
All right. So, Ted, you're awesome, buddy. So
yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So the rest of the name's not going to probably live up to that in terms of name recognition. Ted? Yeah. Oh, either. Okay. So Russia had one of their executives fall out a window last week. The United States had one as well. Gustavo Arnal, the CFO of Bed Bath & Beyond, who has lost a whole bunch of money and he was under investigation for insider trading, jumped out his hotel window and passed away at the age of 52.
Okay, so, what's the real story there?
Who knows? I mean, that one seems legitimate. Like he was literally under investigation for insider trading. Looked like he was going away for a while.
Okay.
So, from the world of music, the lead singer of Earthride, a doom metal band from Maryland, Dave Sherman, passed away at the age of, 55. There's also a rock bassist. He played also with Spirit Caravan and Wretched. From the world of music, we lost John Till, who was the singer of the. Well, I had it here. Sorry, my whole thing just froze for a second. I apologize. The Full Tilt Boogie Band, the guitarist from the Full Tilt Boogie Band out of Canada, passed away at the age of 76. So it's a Canadian rock band headed by guitarist John Till and then by Janis Joplin until her death in 1970.
Damn.
So, from the world of, this was a tough one, from the world of international athletics, Chavez Hart, the great sprinter from the Bahamas, probably the greatest sprinter from the Bahamas, was shot and killed in a parking lot dispute at the age of 29, 3 days short of his 30th birthday. Yeah, went to Texas A&M, won silver in the world indoors in 2016, gold in the championships, the Central American Caribbean Championships, bronzes at the Pan American Games, stuff like that. But he passed away at the age of only 29. From the world of football, we lost Guy Morris, offensive lineman for the Eagles and Patriots. He's played center and guard. Also was a coach at Kentucky and Baylor for a while in the early 2000s. Passed away at the age of 71 from Alzheimer's disease. Yeah. From the world of baseball, also country boy, also known as Ramrod, professional baseball player Mark Littell, reliever for the Royals and Cardinals in the 70s and 80s, passed away at the age of 69 of complications from heart surgery. Had 56 saves, a career ERA of 3.32, and a winning record at 32-31 out of the pen. Also coached with Milwaukee Brewers, San Diego Padres, and just around different places in the majors. So, from the world of hockey, we lost NHL linesman Dan Shakty, passed away at the age of 64, officiated 2,009 games over 30 years, including 5 Stanley Cup finals in 97, 98, 2000, 2001, and 2002. Also one of the 7 NHL officials who worked on the 2002 Winter Olympics, including the bronze medal game. He passed away from complications from diabetes at the age of 64.
I'm sure I've seen him many times. And just
yeah, linesmen aren't people you necessarily know, but he was around for a very, very long time. Something we don't talk about a lot, the Iditarod, dog racing. Lance Mackey passed away at the age of 52, a 4-time winner of the Iditarod, 2007, 8, 9, and 10, and the Yukon Quest, which I did not know, but is very much similar to the Iditarod, 2005, 6, 7, and 8, passed away at the age of 52 from cancer. He also, believe it or not, has an asteroid named after him, and named in his honor after his great career as a dog musher. So there you go. 2 other people.
A lot of Iditarod, like ABC wide world of sports.
Yeah, right. 2 more to go. So American art professor emeritus and a winner of Grammy Award 2008 for Best Historical Album, Art Rosenbaum, passed away at the age of 83. And lastly, I guess one that was near and dear to my heart passed away. Author Peter Straub passed away. One of the great all-time mystery and suspense writers. He wrote The Talisman with Stephen King. He wrote Shadowland. He won the World Fantasy Award. I'm sorry, I didn't win that one. He won the Bram Stoker Award multiple times. Hellfire Claw, Mr. X, Black House, which he wrote with Stephen King. He wrote Julia. Just one of the great horror, gothic, sci-fi novelists. Died of complications from a broken hip at the age of 79. His daughter is also a pretty well-known novelist as well. So his daughter is Emma Straub. So that's a big one. He wrote a lot of books with Stephen King. So if you anyone who cares at all about The Talisman, which is one of the best loved and probably one of the Stephen King books with the biggest cult following. Let's put it that way. Like you're not gonna have a lot of cult followings of like the Green Mile or Carrie or anything. Those are things people love, but the Talisman's got a legitimate cult following, and Peter Straub was as equally responsible for that as Stephen King. So, just one of the ones to me that made one of the biggest differences. So, that's what I got.
Okay. This is usually the part where I do my elevator up, elevator down. Which is like, all right, who in the last week made a case for their respective Hall of Fame? I have a big elevator up. I'm going to hold off because it's going to be bigger later. So I'm not going to go with that. I had an elevator down. I just don't want to bother.
Okay.
Only because it's so fucked up that I still haven't even figured out in my head. So with that, if you were waiting for that,
fair enough.
Evan, you're the double hammer.
Wow, the double hammer.
The double hammer, which is your good, the bad, and the ugly of sports, which I don't know what they are, which is how I like it. I love reacting. But
yes.
But before I want you to react to this. Oh, that was sorry.
That's okay. By the way, just to tell you how weird stuff is getting on Twitter with the Queen, Betty White is trending because people are comparing Betty White's death to the Queen's death and why more people are upset about the Queen dying than Betty White.
Are you fucking kidding me? Really?
Yeah. So just don't go on Twitter today. Anyway, just a couple of congratulations before I get to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. First of all, when Shohei goes up for the Hall of Fame eventually.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I sent you something.
Send that to me. Yeah, please.
So I sent you this. I just want to bring it up, but this isn't my good, bad, or ugly here. Team leaders for the 2022 Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Los Angeles. Batting average, ShoheiOhtani at 270. Home runs, ShoheiOhtani with 32. RBI, ShoheiOhtani with 85. On base percentage, ShoheiOhtani at 360. Hits, ShoheiOhtani at 130. Wins, ShoheiOhtani as a pitcher with 11. ERA, ShoheiOhtani at 2.58. Strikeouts, ShoheiOhtani at 181. All I want to do is whenever he is up for the Hall of Fame, and that's going to be years from now, just put this up. Like, this is the only thing. Just walk in with this and say, there you go.
But here's the missing thing, right? Let's say Ohtani gets injured in like the next 2 years and he can't play. He's not eligible.
I know. That's the crazy thing. That's the whole thing that we talked about with Hamilton. I can think of his name. For the Rangers.
Yeah. Yes. All right, Hamilton.
Yeah. But he only played 9 years because of the drug stuff, and so he didn't even get on the ballot. Yeah,
but he's not an Ohtani.
No, I absolutely agree. But he did win an MVP. So, one other interesting stat I sent you: the career home run leaderboard with Queen Elizabeth II was born. And let's see how many of these people know. With 310 home runs, some guy named George Herman Ruth. Get that one, right? 188.
Hold on. Who you can vote for, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Please.
Oh, on the at www.notanhalloffame.com/USA for the United States Athletics Hall of Fame. These actually, I don't know if one of the others is here. I don't think he is. Number 2 with 188 home runs, SerenaWilliams. 3 with 180, Rogers Hornsby, who I don't think we can vote for. He was close, but I don't think he's actually on the list, is he?
He's not. I think there's some other issues that sort of like a. Oh.
Yeah, whatever. So he's not one of them. 4, Ken Williams, who did really well for also being the general manager of the White Sox almost 100 years later. And 5, the guy who you're like, who is this? With 138, Roger Connor.
I never even heard of this guy.
So Roger Connor, I looked this up and I accidentally just closed it. Roger Connor was born in 1857 in Waterbury, Connecticut. He played mostly for the New York Gothams and was responsible for them becoming the Giants. And he was the player who held the all-time record when Babe Ruth passed him.
That was Gavin Cravath.
I'm sorry?
I thought it was Gavin Cravath who Babe Ruth passed.
Yeah, he was elected by the Hall of Fame by the Veterans Committee in 1976. He was buried in an unmarked grave in Waterbury, Connecticut, before a group of citizens raised money for a grave marker in 2001.
Okay.
So there you go. Played for the Troy Trojans in 1880 and retired playing for the St. Louis Browns in 1897. Also played for the New York Gothams, when they became the New York Giants, Philadelphia Phillies, and St. Louis Browns. Was the manager of St. Louis Browns. Led the NL in batting in 1888, 1889. He's a batting champion. I'm sorry, he was 2-time NL champion in 1888, 1889, NL batting champion 1885, and NL RBI leader in 1889. So there you go. Roger Connor.
Which makes me feel dumb that I've never heard of this guy.
Yeah. He was inducted. Hall of Fame umpire Bill Clem is the guy who basically got him in the Hall of Fame. So there you go.
Bill, yeah, I love his work.
So anyway, so that's Roger Connor. I want to point that out as well. A couple other congratulations. Congratulations to Orlando City of MLS for winning the U.S. Open Cup, which I've competed in the very, very, very preliminary rounds before. They actually beat, I want to give credit to the team that they beat in the finals. They won 3-0 in the finals over hold on, I just moved this so I couldn't see, over Sacramento, who is not a Major League Soccer team. It's actually a Division II team, Sacramento Republic FC, who made it to the finals after beating a whole bunch of MLS teams along the way. They beat Sporting Kansas City in the semifinals, LA Galaxy the round before that, San Jose Earthquakes the round before that. So they had to work their way to get there. They beat
it's like the version of the FA Cup, right?
It's an American version of the FA Cup, yeah.
Right.
And it starts the preliminary rounds for next year are probably going to be starting in the next few weeks in the minor amateur leagues across the country. So the furthest I've gotten in the US Open Cup, I got through
first, you said this before. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, first I got to we won 3 games. So I got to the 4th game where we lost, I believe, 9-0. I don't remember it that well because I was mostly covered in bruises. I had to have blocked like 20 freaking shots. I had ball prints all over me. I have never been more outmatched in a sporting event in my life than that team from Wayland, Massachusetts. They annihilated us.
Yeah. I was sort of thinking, right? Like for whatever reason, like, again, we've been doing this for 2 years. How awesome would it be, like, if for whatever reason we don't meet in the next 2 years, we finally have some like massive like group thing for the World Cup.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Or Chicago.
Yeah, well, hey, the good news, if we go to Qatar, they've now allowed beer to be sold. They made that deal with FIFA. No other alcohol, but beer could be sold. So they got that.
And we could pretend to kiss each other.
Yeah, We're not married. We can do that in the US, but not in Qatar.
God damn.
So anyway, but yeah, I'd be up for that. I'm gonna try and get to. There's no World Cup games in 2026 here in Chicago, so we got to figure.
Oh, Chicago doesn't have one?
No, it's the biggest city that didn't get one. Somehow the New England Stadium in the middle of nowhere.
So Toronto, Jays game. That sucked, man.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. So getting to the good, and this is a semi good. And the MLB Rules Competition Committee's meeting today or meeting tomorrow to vote on rules changes going in. Okay. Now, some of these rules I actually very much like. Some of them are okay. But two of them are going to be interesting. One that I didn't even think about before was they're going to increase the size of bases from 15 inches to 18 inches. Now, they did this in the minor leagues, and it led to fewer injuries for going into the bases, and also led to more stolen bases because people had more area to aim at. Mm-hmm. So I'm in favor of that one. That one has no bearing on the play, right? Moving 15 inches to 18 inches of baseball, I'm good with. I like that one. I like they're going to put in a pitching clock, 15-second pitching clock. We'll see on that one, a 20-second clock with runners on. Those are going to require batters to be in the batter's box with at least 8 seconds to go on the clock. So they can't just Nomar Garcia power out in the on-deck circle. And hitters are going to be allowed one timeout per plate appearance. So I don't know how much time that's actually going to save.
It's a massive big, so let's go on.
Yeah. The pitchers can only have 2 disengagements to the rubber, including pickoff attempts per plate appearance. So you can do a third pickoff attempt, but if you don't get the guy out, he automatically gets a base. It's considered to be a balk. That one I don't know about at all. That seems a little arbitrary to me. And the last one is the one that's interesting. They're going to only allow 2 infielders in each side of second base, with all 4 required to be on the dirt, and no one can be on the outfield grass before the pitch is thrown, which should lead to more infield singles and drive Big Papi crazy because he'd have approximately 73 to 100 more hits just from that not happening. So that one, the shift, I would say about the shift, you're an adult, figure out how to swing the other side, just bunt down the third baseline. Seriously, like just bunt down the third baseline over and over and over again. Take first base. I don't care. They're going to shift on you. Figure out a way around it, right? Mm-hmm. Not that I'm on anything the same level, but when I played softball, the time I led off and I hit the ball every single time directly over the shortstop's head into left field. So eventually what people started doing was moving a defender there. So guess what I did? I hit it down the line where the guy moved out of left field. And granted, it's a lot easier to hit a slow pitch softball than it is to hit a Major League Baseball. But if I, who suck at this sport, can figure it out, I'm sure these Major League hitters with their hitting coaches could probably do the same. So I think it's a good idea because the shift has ruined a lot of things. I just think it's ridiculous that they had to come up with that. People couldn't come up with a way to swing on their own to take care of it. You're supposed to be the best at your level. So whatever. But I do like the idea that they're getting some of these things done. I like the fact they're debating it. The bases is good. The pitch clock apparently has worked at minor league levels, so good for them. But we'll see. I like the fact they're at least thinking about it without doing something stupid like putting the runner on second base in the overtime in extra innings. I hate that one so much.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So, one other thing to congratulate, my Schaumburg Boomers have made the semifinals of the Frontier League. They had a single game elimination for the wild card against the Evansville Otters and defeated them. And so now they play the Washington. I can't remember the Washington team names, but you'd think Washington would be, Washington, D.C. or Washington State. No, it's Washington, Pennsylvania.
Way too many jokes.
Yes, I know. So anyway, I like the idea that they're looking at it. Some of the things I actually like, some I'm not so sure, but there was enough that was really that exciting this week. Other than, I guess, Albert Pujols is going to get to 700 home runs, which is kind of cool.
Okay. Whoa. Think you will?
Oh, yeah. And if he doesn't, I think you're right. He'll stick around another year.
Okay.
He'll retire in like May once he hits 701. He'll stick around for 700. He'll hit 701 and then retire. So.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So what's the bad?
The bad is coaches. This is a soccer one. Ooh, what is that noise?
Not me.
My computer is probably doing a commercial here somewhere. Yeah, it's a commercial that after I have everything muted because ESPN sucks on that thing. Sorry about that. Oh, God damn it. So is that the last two are the bad and the ugly are both going to be soccer. The bad is going to be doubting American soccer players overseas. It's going to cost you your job. In the past couple of days, both Domenico Tedesco out of RB Leipzig has been dismissed, who famously was not in favor of Tyler Adams, who's one of the best players and doing very well at Leeds in the EPL, and Thomas Tuchel, who's the coach of Chelsea, who will not get Pulisic off the bench and yet won't trade him, also got fired. So and Americans are picking things up internationally. Weston McKennie scored an incredible header goal in the Champions League for I think he's with AC. It's an Italian team. I'm blanking out. I think it's AC Roma. But he had an incredible goal with his head. Americans are taking over European soccer, and doubting them is going to cost you your job. So I'm just going to say that. I also want to point out that my team needs to fire their coach as well. I don't know what's going on with Leicester City, but the thing is, neither do the players. They're playing a different style every single half, and it is not working out.
I saw it dead last, right?
Yeah, we are dead last, and deservedly so. It is not good. So they need to figure something out because it's just not going well. And the worst thing this week, instant replay, VAR. It is getting so nitpicky. Like in the US for replay, it's supposed to be, if it's not clear and obvious, it's supposed to be just a clear and obvious error you're overtaking. They called an offsides on a play where the guy legitimately had to have been like 3 blades of grass on his shoe. Like the point of an offsides is to make it so there's no cherry picking. There's not an unfair advantage, right? That's not the point of it. You're not supposed to go and Zapruder film each play. And I'm a defender, right? I grew up playing defense. You're not supposed to Zapruder film every single play to see exactly where everything is. Goals are being called back on things that have nothing to do with anything. They called one back on a foul on a referee or on the goalie when the play. This was Mendy was the goalkeeper. It was it would have been a game tying goal for West Ham. So Jared Bowen jumped over the goalkeeper. And was there contact? Yes. Was there intensive contact? Barely. It's like his toe touched the guy's elbow. But Mendy's rolling around on the ground like he'd been shot. Oh my God. Stop it. Stop it. I have turned.
That never happens where they exaggerate, but sorry.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry, but my stupid commercial on this thing, I've stopped it 5 times and it keeps coming back with audio after I've turned all the audio off. It's just ridiculous. It keeps reloading the page and turning it back on. But so West Ham lost this game that on a goal that should have counted because of barely incidental contact with the keeper. Like this is happening all over the place. The league actually made a request to the referees union to explain what's going on and why they're doing what they're doing. It does not make any sense. It's ruining the game. We've lost 6 or 7 incredible goals over the last 3 weeks in the EPL due to VAR decisions that should never have taken place. Like their VAR decisions are taking 5 and 6 minutes. If you can't tell, you can't get the right view from VAR within the first minute and a half, save it. It's good, right? If you figure it out later that his toenail was offsides, fine. Who cares? It's not a big thing. But if you take 6-7 minutes to figure out whether or not somebody was a micrometer offsides, what are we doing here? It's slowing everything down. It's taking stuff away and it's ruining it. VAR is really, really screwing up. This is not what it is for. It's to overturn clear and obvious errors. There are going to be mistakes by referees all the time, right? They're human. There's 22 people running around on that field. It's impossible for them to see everything, right? But they can't do it this way. They just absolutely can't.
All right. So how do you see this like playing out next year?
They've got to go back to their original rules of clear and obvious error. Mm-hmm. Like if it's not clear and obvious, leave it as it is. It's not. I mean, this isn't like balls and strikes where there's a clear zone it has to be in and everything. Like there's just so many shades of gray, and offsides is you have to figure out exactly when the ball is contacted and exactly where people are at that time. If you have the 2 frames off, everything's completely different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you just have to go back to the clear and obvious. If it's not clear and obvious, let it go. Same time, we don't want to do what happened to the U.S. in the 2002 World Cup, where Torsten Frings just put his hand out like this on the goal line and knocked the ball away from going into the net. Like Greg Berhalter should have scored against Germany in the World Cup quarterfinals, and the U.S. would have gone ahead. They end up losing 1-0 in a game that they definitely scored, except for the fact that the defender just had his hand out and knocked the ball down and nobody did anything. Like that, that guy should have been red carded and the U.S. should have had the goal awarded, right? That's what we're trying to overturn. If someone punches somebody behind the scenes, the referee doesn't see it, we need to get that, right? If the referee calls something a red card and it turns out that the guy dove, we need to call that. But micrometers offsides or fouls that took place like 30 seconds ago or incidental contact between players is not the purpose of VAR. Right? It's just going to be a mess. So, although it could be worse. I mean, we had no VAR at all for the first part of CONCACAF qualifying, and there are a couple games that are decided upon that. So, but then again, CONCACAF is, dare I say it, the single most corrupt sports organization in the world. Which is saying a lot.
Which you said.
Yeah. CONCACAF is worse than FIFA. It's worse than UEFA. It's worse than the NCAA. It's worse than NFL. It's worse than everything.
Whoa. Worse than NCAA?
Yeah. CONCACAF is way worse than NCAA.
God damn. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, with that, so, I think the show might be over.
Probably. So,
thank you all for watching. Hey, Evan, I wrote a book.
I heard.
Yeah. Check it out. Chavo Guerrero, it's in Classic. You can get that on Amazon.com.
Cool.
Which you should, if you're a wrestling fan. And there's a lot of other things that we do. If you haven't taken a look at that, please do. Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame. Something that we're pretty proud of. Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Also proud of. By the way, we have to go through some of the things where I got a couple of the numbers wrong.
It happens.
Yeah. So next week, okay, you know, like when you watch the Oscars and there's all the accountants that show up.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Ted's our accountant. And
we could afford accountants? My God, we're really taking off.
Yeah, well, Theodore Hillebrand, he's our accountant. I fucked up. So there's a few things that we got wrong. So
okay,
I got wrong. Evan didn't get it wrong. I got it wrong. So
fair enough.
Yeah. So with that, and with all the other stuff that we do, wherever you are, wherever you may be, stay safe, everyone.
Take care, guys. Bye.